Ain't nobody realer than gorillas. Okay, enough of that. Let's have an intro.
Hello, this is Shotzi Blackheart, and welcome to Gimme A Hull Yeah! I hope everyone checking this out in Yorkshire and beyond is having a great day.
Yeah, hello. Thank you, Shotzi. Yeah, sorry I'm late, everyone. I had a bunch of technical difficulties, which is probably my own fault for not setting up the stream earlier, but I had a dozen other things to do, like go to the gym, sit in the garden and drink cider, and look at the Aurora Borealis above my head for the first time in my life in the north of England. So, yeah, all that going on. But yeah, I'm here now. Yeah, basically, I had some issues with the picture. We have this nice brand that Dan has done, and Ant's told me off for not using it before, and he's right. But tonight, I just couldn't get it to play ball, so that's why we have a picture of Randy and AJ, because I couldn't get the banner to go over their heads without it looking weird. So there we are. But yeah, so thank you for joining us. Backlash was all right, wasn't it? What did you think? I know Dan's done a stream since you last saw me, but yeah, mixed feelings. Tell me what you all thought, and we'll go into the comments in a moment. It'd help if I actually put SmackDown on, wouldn't it? There we go. Watch live. Let's do that. Yeah, can't you tell I'm having a Oh, so Nick Aldis is in the ring with Cody. I've missed the start. Classic me. Oh, well. Cody looks like $1 million. So does Nick. I can't believe Nick's my age as well. He looks like he's 10 years older in a good way. He looks like, you know, a proper grown-up, unlike me. We're both 36. There you go. So, yeah, there's me saying won't be long while I was nearly punching the screen. Michael's in. I am 8. Brandon Stevens says, Shotzi, marry Brandon Stevens. I've got some bad news, Brandon. I think you missed the boat with that one. Misfit, I know you've just sent me a text, but I was too busy fighting with my technical stuff that I haven't read it yet. And Jack Pollard says, Hull yeah indeed. And here's Logan Paul coming out. Well, this is interesting. We have the United States champion in the ring with the WWE Undisputed Champion. Cool. Oh, Nick being nice to Logan. Yeah, so Backlash. Where are we on that? I thought the main event. Let's talk about the main event. I thought it was a good match. Like AJ versus Cody is a dream match for me. You know, very, very much so. It's not what I've seen before. Obviously, there was history with AJ and Dusty, both former Bullet Club members, high-ranking Bullet Club members. You know, obviously Cody led a coup, didn't he, against Kenny Omega? Didn't quite come off. By the time they made peace, they were both kicked out by the OGs. You know, sparking the Bullet Club Civil War. So that was cool. So there's a little bit of throwback to the Bullet Club stuff and the Dusty stuff. There's been a lot of. I actually was listening to Anthony and Andy before, kind of like, you know, they weren't down on the show at all. They both enjoyed it, but I think there was some disappointment that there was a bit of a lack of story and build between that match, and I actually don't mind that. It was kind of refreshing for it just to be about who's the better man. AJ was the obvious heel, but yeah, I don't need every pay-per-view main event to be a blood feud. Does that make sense? I don't need everything to be Roman versus Cody. Sometimes it's about, right, I'm the champ. Who's number one contender? You know, it would have worked. Might have worked better if it had been a babyface versus babyface match, because you could have really leaned into the whole better man thing, where AJ just felt like a petulant child throughout a lot of it, which is, he's a heel. Being a heel. Heels doing what heels will do. But yeah, I kind of liked it. I do worry, though, that they're not... Like, again, I don't need Cody to be in a blood feud immediately. Like, they're letting things breathe after the Roman Reigns story, which I think is quite smart. But they do need to be building some stories in the background, I think. You know, obviously there's the whole The Rock thing. hanging over everything like a dark cloud. But I don't want them. Like, if the priority for a little while is just to throw Cody into Dream Match versus Dream Match, I'm all right with that for a bit. But we are going to need some story eventually, you know. But we'll see. The Bloodline stuff, fascinated by that. Fascinated to see where that goes and what happens next. Hopefully, we'll see some stuff tonight. Feeling the. I know some people are kind of losing a bit of patience with it. But it was the same thing. People lost, but some people want to see stuff right away. And for me, I'm kind of happy with the Uncle Howdy stuff. I do think they need to progress it somewhat, but I don't want them to rush it, but I don't want them to drag it out too long. You know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to that because something cool is happening there. And my thought is, it doesn't need to be better than the Bray Wyatt stuff. It just needs to be entertaining. It just needs to be a nice tribute to Bray at the same time. Doesn't even need to go on forever. So yeah, I've got a lot of time and a lot of patience for that. I'm all right with it. One thing I was going to say, I'm going to talk about as well is this Drew McIntyre CM Punk storyline. It's absolute fire. It just is. Now, I feel like, I do not want this stream to descend into another conversation about CM Punk and the Elite, because, I think we, a few weeks ago, we closed the door on that. But I still think there's a little bit of confusion about my stance there. So I'm just going to say it one more time. I am a CM Punk fan. I think there's some ideas that I'm not. I've been a CM Punk fan since Ring of Honor, before anyone who discovered him in WWE or AEW knew who he was. I was a CM Punk fan. So, and I still am. But my personal morality gets in the way of me enjoying him as a performer at the moment, because some of the stuff he's done in his personal life, backstage at AEW, it's still something that sticks in my craw, and I want to just let myself enjoy it. Same with the Young Bucks stuff in AEW, because they are being brilliant at being dicks, and I just want to love it and enjoy it. But I just have this. I'm watching it. I'm not fast forwarding it, the Young Bucks stuff or the Punk stuff, mainly because McIntyre is so goddamn good. But I am finding that hard to get over. Maybe I'll share with you all the reasons why one day. But I haven't even shared it with my co-hosts. But I know they suspect there is more. It's not just that Sam is anti-violence, but there's a reason I'm anti-violence. But yeah, so, one final time, it's not that I'm not a CM Punk fan. The problem is I am a CM Punk fan. That's the issue. So I just want to make that clear to anybody watching. And if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask me. But yeah, let's go through some comments while these two are nattering, and I'm nattering over them. Logan versus Cody. Sign me up. Sign me up. It's a bit weird, though. I mean, shouldn't they both be in their own divisions, defending their own championships? Like, why are we getting them versus each other, if that is indeed what we're getting? Misfit saying, I enjoyed the show, Backlash. Yeah, I thought a lot of people were failing the JU so much. I thought it was all right. I didn't think it was 10 out of 10 by any stretch of the imagination, but I thought it was one of his better ones. But I think I more enjoyed the ring psychology. There was no reality where he won it. That whole match existed just to further his story with the Bloodline, whatever was going on with that look between him and Solo, and the division between Judgment Day. It was a match to further two storylines, and I'm all right with that. Without the crowd, I don't think it would enjoy Bloodline. Without the crowd, I don't think I would have not enjoyed the Bloodline match as much as I did. Okay, yeah, no, I know what you mean. The crowd were bloody brilliant. Kudos to Triple H and WWE for keeping Tangaloa's debut a surprise. Yeah, I mean, my God. Yeah, it's great, isn't it? Isn't it nice when that happens? This is why, even in my line of work with WrestleSphere and stuff like that, this is why, for a lot of spoilers, I don't go looking at Fightful for spoilers months and months and months in advance and things like that, because it's nice to be surprised. It's boring when you know every single thing that's going to happen. This match just tells you Raw got smoked in the draft. I'm a bit worried though, because I don't know, I feel like they both should be defending. The plan is to reveal Howdy, King of the Ring. Stop with the spoilers. Yeah, it does make sense, I suppose. Yeah. I'm done with the Punk Elite stuff. Let's just talk about Punk having the time of his life in WWE right now. Well, yeah, but the issue I've got is I'm still, on a personal level, I don't really care about the Elite stuff. I'm just struggling to, as a CM Punk fan, I think I'm struggling to forgive him. That's all it is. My issue with them is connected but separate, if that makes any sense. Yeah. I'm back from the honey mustard. Oh, I'm back with honey mustard and onion pretzel pieces. Nice. I will say though, Misfit, I've now seen some sources regarding the Julia NXT thing. So I'm not 100% sure that she's winning the big one on her debut, because I've not heard that it's Roxanne she's up against. So my money is on her winning the mid-card belt on her first outing. That's what I'm now hearing. So we'll now have to just see which one of us is right. But I now do accept that, well, to be fair, I always accepted this part of it, that she's going, she's making her debut on that show, Heatwave. And more than likely is going to win her match, of course, because they want to make her a big star. But it also punks out the current champion to a unknown quantity. So they could do it, but I reckon she's winning that mid-card belt on her first match. But we'll see. But we will see. Oh, AJ is having a whinge. I think that's the worst cup of tea I've ever made. Here's Naomi with her new weak sauce theme. I've said this before. It's like a combination of her old WWE theme and her TNA theme, and it doesn't hit as hard as either of them. Let me know if you disagree or agree. You better agree. I'm just going to get this down my neck because it's the worst cup of tea I've ever made. Oh, I'm grossing you all out, swallowing it all. But yeah, so I just wanted to clarify that one more time, because the CM Punk thing, because it keeps cropping up. It's almost like people the guys are apologetic to discuss him or be fans of him, and I feel like I've explained that so many times, but I don't know, it's I think I'm just sick of explaining it, really. It's like, but yeah, I think in terms of, in fact, I will say, in terms of Gimme A Hull Yeah hosts, I'm the biggest CM Punk fan. But there you go. So there we've got our first ad break. Oh, hi there. Happy Mother's Day weekend. Is it Mother's Day in the UK? I think it might be where you are, mate. It's not where I am. I think we had on Mother's Day a little while. I could be wrong. When's Mother's Day in the UK? Let's find out. Hang on. You think I'd know, wouldn't you? Mother's Day. Yeah, ours was back in March, mate. So it's Mother's Day where you are, Hassan. Ours was a little while ago. I don't think my mum's that bothered about Mother's Day. We always get her a card when my wife reminds me, So I think tonight on SmackDown, my priority is to see some Bloodline stuff. That's what I want to see. Because Tangaloa has been added. Like, we know Jacob for 2 is coming. The question is when. There's a word on the street is they don't want him to be to outshine Solo. They want Solo to be the boss, which makes sense. Can I get a vote, please? Yeah, it's Naomi versus somebody, isn't it? Let's when I find out who I haven't been paying attention, so we'll see who she's wrestling in a little while. and then I'll do the banner and the vote. Could you imagine if we had WWE without ads? Wouldn't that be amazing? I can't wait for it to be on Netflix. I know it'll still probably have ads, but I wonder how they're going to play it. It'd be interesting. For example, that Netflix tier that you pay to not have adverts. How is that going to work? You know, especially live. Sounds saying, "I like your hat. I wear it every week." You must have seen it. I think I've been wearing it for years now. This taking this hat all over the world. Nia Jax, Michael says. Awesome. Right, let's do a banner for and a vote for Nia Jax. Give me a moment, guys. What the hell is wrong with YouTube tonight? Okay. Oh, ads. There we go. But yeah, Sam, not Mother's Day here. I think we do things a little bit differently in the UK. So, start a poll. Let's go. Who wins? There we go. Boom, we have a poll. Go. And let us do a banner as well, shall we? I forgot about Nia Jax. It's easily done, Hassan. It's easily done. Unless she's injured you. I don't know. All I remember about Nia Jax is during the pandemic, she put out some absolutely, I'm going to say it, batshit tweets about medicine. So it's hard for me to remember anything but that, really, when I see Nia Jax these days. Here we go. So, Naomi. Nope. Boom. There we go. We have a banner. So, how's everyone liking the Uncle Howdy stuff Dom's doing? I'm finding it quite exciting. I think it makes sense what Misfit's saying for her to, you know, for her to. For him, sorry, not for Howdy to make an appearance at the next pay per view, but they've got to start ramping it up, don't they? Or at least for the stable too. Like, at the end of the day, they can't do the analog horror between now and the end of time. They've got to start paying it off. You know what I mean? Like, for me, I actually think they kind of rushed Uncle Howdy stuff first time round. They didn't trust the process, and that's what sort of ruined it. Do you remember when they put him in the ring with LA Knight? Well, not with Bray Wyatt. Before they had kind of finished telling the story they were telling, because people were like, when's he going to get in the ring? And that killed the illusion, really. They should have carried on going a little bit longer with that and stuck to their guns. So I hope this time that they do, because the minute people start going, the whole instant gratification culture that we have wins out, it stops having any value. So I think they should stick to their guns this time, and we should trust the process. Doesn't mean they're incapable of making misfires. They absolutely are. But yeah, that's what I think, at least. Misfit saying, remember that Mike Rome was moved to NXT? Yes, he was indeed. Well, of course, because Aisha Taylor's now on the main roster. Makes sense. I actually rewatched Cody's victory again earlier, and it was I hadn't noticed the first time that Samantha Irvine had you know, like her voice wobbled when she first announced. I only noticed that second time round. I was so busy in the moment. Well, if you did, mate, I did too. So yeah, probably. I wasn't aware there had been one. Dom will know. Dom's got like a spidey sense for them. It'll be going off. His howdy sense is going off. Oh, yes. Howdy sense. There we go. My howdy sense is tingling. I'm also Nia Jax looking mean. Oh, gonna get an ad break now. Oh, for Christ's sake. But yeah, it's I have to say though to Nia Jax, she's looking amazing. She's clearly been smashing the gym. She looks badass. To be fair, I know I criticised her a little bit earlier, but she does look great. It's weird tonight. I'm not as tired as I usually am. It'll be interesting to see when I do my first big yawn though. So tell you what, Misfit, I know I shouted a minute ago about spoilers. What else have we got tonight? What's on the docket for this evening? Yeah, to be fair, the howdy at the pay-per-view does make a lot of sense, doesn't it? Like, could you imagine if they waited longer? Like, it'd be good if it was a Clash at the Castle. Still don't know if I'm going yet, though. I'm still in an hour. But Andy was and Ant were talking about Mania in Vegas as well earlier this evening, and it's it's Misfit. Go on then, Misfit. Let's have a little look. Is this what you've sent me though, Misfit? Is it the is it just a QR code, or do I have to kind of click it and do all that? Because I might just save it for Dom, so people have got a reason to tune into. Not that you need a reason to Dom's howdy thing. I think I might leave the howdy stuff for that. You know, but yeah, thank you for sending it over. Did you send it to me or the Gimme A Hull Yeah page? Oh yeah, I can see it on either. To be fair. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm just relieved that they've brought it back and done something with it. Oh, here it comes. Ooh, there we go. Yeah, I think it would have been a shame for it to, for want of a better word, for it to die with Bray. I think so. And I agree. It's a nice way of honouring him. I'm excited for WWE at the moment. Like, we normally get a post WrestleMania slump, and I don't feel like we've had that this year at all. I don't know. Did we have it last year? Can't really remember, but yeah, I think we did somewhat. But I don't feel like we had this. We have this year. The Bloodline stuff is exciting. I kind of like what they're doing with Cody. I disagree that he needs to be thrown into a blood feud straight away. Let's, like at UFC, they don't necessarily go down the blood. I know it's a different sport. The blood feud route, they just kind of move on to the next challenger. Sometimes there's beef, sometimes it's genuine, sometimes it's completely artificial. But yeah, I kind of like it. But personally, I think there needs to be a rubber match between Cody and Roman. And a lot of people will be like, no, please, no, but hear me out. I think we need something like a Hell in a Cell where there's no bloodline interference. There's no Cena, Undertaker, The Rock, all that, like that big schmoz that we had at Mania was great. I loved every second of it. But can we just have a match where Cody definitively beats Roman in the center of the ring without any BS? Because I think right now, I feel like his title reign needs that. Just a dominant win over Roman. Kick Roman to rock bottom. So as well, so that bloodline story just makes him look down on his luck and completely down in the dirt. So the bloodline all kind of abandon him and maybe join Solo or join The Rock or whatever else. I really do think they need to do that. And it'll give Cody Rhodes some more... I kind of like it when the champ, the new reigning champ, sees off the person he beats one more time to definitively say, right, okay. Because I don't think he's had that yet. So I would like to see that. I imagine loads of people will disagree with that, but that's just me. I think he needs it. Sorry, I can't turn my watch off. Go away, watch. There we go. Jesus. Yeah, that's just me. I just think there needs to be a definitive win, and I feel like Hell in a Cell would be a good way to do that. And I think the feud has enough beef. But this time, I want to see a different Roman going. This is all hypothetical, of course, but I'd like to see a Roman Reigns, a focused Roman Reigns that goes into that match, not the delusional bully Roman Reigns we've had for 3 years, but I'd love to see somewhat of the old Roman kind of going into that and being like, right, no bloodline, this is me against you, no BS. Because I love the idea of Roman being like, look, I couldn't resist smacking Seth at Mania when he had the gall to come out wearing that Shield gear with that Shield theme. You know, because I love the idea that Roman is still psychologically damaged by that so much that he risked his entire title reign just to get back at Seth. That's great. That's great storytelling. So I love the idea that Roman's kicking himself and needs to just have that moment. And I think Cody's the sort of guy who grants it him as well. Because I think Cody's confident that he can beat Roman one-on-one and then does. So yeah, that's just me. I think both guys need that to finally move on from each other. That's just me. And I could watch those two wrestle all day, not gonna lie. Jake's in. How's it going, Jake? I know you've got a fight coming up. I saw from the stream earlier tonight when I got home. Misfit saying, only thing I know is that AJ and Randy are main eventing. Of course, yeah. And Solo is getting a message from the tribal chief. Yes, that's what I want. And observing stuff is here. Hello, mate. Nice to see you. This has been an all right match so far, as far as the TV match goes. I think Naomi gets a bit of stick sometimes for not being brilliant in the ring. And I feel like she's kind of dragging a good match out of Nia Jax here. Which normally only the very best, like Becky Lynch, have been able to do. Yeah. Oh, yes, of course. So we've been talking about, because Andy's incredibly excited about Mania being in Vegas. I'm umming and ahhing. Do we do it? You know, do I? Because I'm not. Vegas has never been one of them places that really interests me. I've got like no interest in gambling or anything like that. Like I'd love to prop up some of the bars. Hell yeah. And the idea of seeing the Grand Canyon sounds awesome. But I've never been like Vegas has never been one of those cities that's appealed to me. Maybe because I was born in Blackpool, which is kind of like the UK's Las Vegas light. So I'm like, I don't know. It's never been on my to-do list, but I imagine. Oh, got her. But yeah, but again, if the boys want to go, I'll probably go with them. But we'll see. As a fan, of course, it'll just be a case of going as a fan. But being there allows us to, you know, write some articles and stuff. Oh, write brackets. What we got? So Nia Jax goes through to the next round. Cargill and Piper Niven. God, that's going to be adjusting. That's going to be. Sorry, observing. I read your comment then. Just I was like Cargill versus Niven. Is that really sensible? We'll see. It's like powerhouse versus powerhouse, isn't it? Is that tonight? That'd be interesting. Baron Corbin. Are we getting babyface Baron Corbin? How do we feel about that? Naomi keeps having to adjust the top. Don't want to have a wardrobe malfunction on TV. Babyface Baron. How do we feel about that? There's Carmelo Hayes. Haven't these two tangled before in NXT? I kind of liked the bromance between Baron and Braun. Braun, even. I know, yeah. He was funny on NXT the other day when he said something like, that was it. He was talking to Lexus King and he was like, you know, this guy's a complete douchebag. And that's me saying that. So that was quite good. So I love the idea that they're Corbin is aware of how disliked and heelish he's been in the past. That was funny. Oh wow, was that Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes, Rollins, Triple H? Sick. Yeah, I think it kind of rehabbed him, didn't it? I'm not so sure I want to see him as a face. You know, with Corbin, I'm like, I think he's become quite, I don't know, I think he's kind of got over and he's become quite endearing, hasn't he? I think that's what it is. But for me, with Corbin, I've thought for ages he'd make a different type of, like, do you know his original heel figure when he was like the lone wolf without all the scraggly hair and being so stupid? But I think, like, I'd love to see a killer Baron Corbin and not a comedy Baron Corbin. Like this burn the ships Corbin could be a great heel, but I want to see him hurt people. I want to see him be a savage, you know, not like the bum ass Corbin stuff just didn't, and the King Corbin stuff just didn't do anything for me at all. But that's just me. 1 second, guys. 1 second. There we go. I had to blow my nose, and I didn't think any of you wanted to see that. So, you know, we would lose a lot of subscribers. Oh, hello. I think he's a heel pretending to be a face. Yeah, maybe. That might be it. Although I'm kind of, I'm pissing about my hat. I'm kind of the view that I think they're trying to turn him face. I really do. I don't know if it'll work, but we'll see. Sad Corbin. See, I hated it. I just thought it was lame. And, you know, I just, mainly because I've always wanted to see Killer Corbin. And that was just like, I didn't understand who that was. Like, yes, it was funny at times. It popped me a couple of times, but I don't know. It wasn't my cup of tea. Michael saying, Sam, have you played Marvel Rivals? No, I don't think I have. It's so weird, Michael, with games, because of obviously what I do as a job. It's like most of what I play these days isn't directly dictated to by work, but it's dictated to by work out of necessity, because my free time is really split between so many different things that when I get my gaming time, it's usually whatever game I'm playing for work at the moment. So doesn't mean I'm not doing it to relax and to enjoy the game. I am, but it's like right now I'm in a situation where I've got to get ready for Diablo 4 Season 4, because that's going to probably take up a good portion of my working life until Elden Ring comes out. Then I've got the Elden Ring DLC to deal with. What a shame. Can't wait. And at some point, I'd like to do the new Game Plus of Stellar Blade. You know, I've still not finished Final Fantasy. I've still not finished Dragon's Dogma. There's probably things in the queue before that as well. So it's hard work, really. Because if, you know, I try and maintain my social life and, you know, meet up with people and go out for a drink. You probably know I have a bit of a busy gym routine, which I refuse to compromise on because I get so much from it. Me and my wife do lots of stuff together. We like to go out for dinner together, go out for drinks together, you know, do all that sort of stuff. I'm always reading a book. I've always got a book on the go, more than one, usually sometimes. TV shows I want to watch, movies I want to watch. Walk the dogs 2-3 times a day. So it's hard, really, to find the time for gaming like I used to. When I was a single guy, it's all I did. It was great. But these days, the older you get, the harder you have to fight for your right to party, Michael. as the Beastie Boys said. Here he is, burn the ships. See, he's being very baby-facey. You might be right, though, observing. He might just be faking it. But this is what a babyface Baron Corbin looks like. At least a de facto babyface. So this should be pretty good. I do love a tournament. Like, are you guys into wrestling tournaments? I'm of the view, like, I know it, like, kayfabe makes it near enough impossible to maintain a solid ranking system and stuff like that. But like, I think New Japan do it the best out of everybody. They don't really have a ranking systems per se, but they throw everybody into these multi-man matches that are really not for me. But when they have a singles match, it matters. It always matters. Not necessarily from a rankings point of view, but from a booking point of view. And I don't think that's necessarily true with WWE and AEW. I know AEW have tried it, but yeah, I'm a guy who likes kind of stats. I'm a guy who likes tournaments because what I love about a tournament, yeah, totally, Hassan. 1 second, mate. What I love about a tournament is you get matches between people who wouldn't normally have matches against each other, be they heel, babyface, or people who aren't necessarily feuding; they're just in each other's way in the tournament. That last big tournament AEW had was great for that because we saw like Jay White versus Swerve and things like that. So I loved it. So that's what I like about a tournament. You don't have to come up with a BS reason for them to be in a match. They're in a match because that's what the sport dictates. Yeah, I love that. Obviously, you've still got to do matches for the storyline's sake and things like that. But I love a tournament. Anyway, let's give Hassan what he wants and everybody else. Let's have a poll. Nia Jax 89% won that one. Well, you were right. So, who wins? Mello. Baron Corbin spelt phonetically. Okay. I'll just quickly do the banner, guys, as well. I'll try and do my housekeeping well tonight. I'm calling him Mello because it's cool. There we go. DIY should be champs. Give them time. I hope LA Knight wins King of the Ring. Ooh, King LA Knight. I don't know who I want to win. I kind of wanted Finn Balor to win, but look what happened there. They can't let LA Knight fall by the wayside. I'm still on the LA Knight train. Yeah, because it has kind of petered off, though, hasn't it? They've got to, they've got to work hard on it. Like, you got to win over AJ Styles at WrestleMania. That's pretty significant. But then again, the Mania before, Austin Theory got a win over John Cena. So, I wish he was with Breaker. I like the Wolf Dogs. I actually thought it was a crap name, but they made it work by both of their charisma made it work. So, yeah. I want King Tonga and Queen Io. Okay. I kind of think maybe Gunther might win it. Give him something to do, because obviously they don't want Gunther to lose momentum either. I've also the lads were talking about this earlier tonight. So it looks like we're getting Baron Corbin, bloody hell, Gunther versus Ilya Dragunov in the tournament, which is great. But I feel like they're blowing that load a bit quick. I mean, like, if people don't know, they have a ton of history in NXT, NXT UK, Progress Wrestling, WXW. They have a ton of history, those two. And they put on clinics together. So for WWE just to kind of do that as a tournament match, I'm okay with it as long as it both manages to get under each other's skin so it leads to a program between them later. that, you know, if they can do some long-term storytelling with it, great. But if it's just a throwaway match, then they're giving it away too quick, because I don't care what anyone says, that's a WrestleMania match right there. You know, they are like the Joker and Batman, destined to do this dance forever. You know, so that's becoming my new favorite, isn't it? I think that's replacing my Scorpion and the Frog as my go-to. But yeah, so I agree with Andy about that. I think they've got to be careful with that one. They've got to nurture it. They've got to do it right, because that could be magic. Misfit, where you at? The Iron Claw being advertised. That's interesting. I haven't seen it yet, Iron Claw. I enjoyed Andy's review of it. I feel like it'd make me sad. I was going to take Jess to see it, but I don't know. I thought it might make her sad. Also, umming and ahhing about going to All In. Tickets are... I was talking about it as well. Like, and if anybody wonders what I'm thinking about the pricing of Clash at the Castle, I'm thinking about it because I've never seen prices like that before. And it's... If it was like the only one, I'd do it, but they generally come every year now. Like, they might not come every year, but that's ridiculous. That, you know, that amount of money, and it's clearly WWE's current pricing strategy for international PLEs is getting a bit, pun intended, is having a bit of a backlash. So we'll see what happens. Like, they're not going to lower them, but I do think they need to adjust their expectations a little bit. Well, All In, you can get a pretty good seat for just 100 quid or a little bit less. And like, to me, that's reasonable. Like, you can get a very good seat if you spend just 200 quid. Still a lot of money, but it's Wembley Stadium, and they only come here once a year. So I kind of get it. It is a weird one. Like, the boys were talking about it earlier, and I agree with every word they said. It's disappointing, really, because, you know, not all wrestling fans are millionaires, you know. So it's you don't price out your audience, and it's clear that, like, they should have sold out. Like, in that small venue in Glasgow, smallish, they should have sold that out immediately. And the fact that, like, Money in the Bank tickets are expensive, but they weren't on that level. Jeez. King AJ Styles. Yeah, it'd be an accolade to give AJ, wouldn't it? I need to look at the brackets and really study it. I think my money's on Gunther or LA Knight. Look at Mello. He's so good. Yeah, exactly. Just make him a killer. Just make him a wrestler, a badass. And, like, yeah, he could do that as a babyface. Yeah, but like all the silly gimmicks they've given him over the years just haven't resonated with me. The thing that resonated with me the most was the original Baron Corbin we got. Then they changed his look and they made him look a lot cooler when they did the whole Constable BS. But now I think he's in the whole burn the ships Corbin, though, is a gimmick, which is a rejection of his previous gimmicks. So I kind of like that. Yeah, I remember Vince shackled this version of Corbin. Yeah, well, it's a really weird one as well, isn't it? Because it was inadvertent. Because Baron Corbin, it was somebody Vince absolutely loved. Apparently, he thought he was a really good-looking guy, and that the ladies would love him. So, okay, there you go. But yeah, because I think he wanted Corbin to be a character rather than a warrior, and I want to see the warrior Corbin. That's what I want to see. The badass, the wrestler. not the gimmick, not the cheesy gimmick. Same with like Chad Gable's another where they keep giving him silly gimmicks, and now they're just making him a killer, and it suits him. It suits him so much. I've always said it with wrestling gimmicks that sometimes the best gimmick is just let them be an exaggerated version of who they are. Like Rollins, for example, like Seth Rollins, be he a heel or a face, is always an exaggerated version of Kobe Lopez. You know, and if he leans into the best parts of himself, he's a great babyface. But when he leans into his worst traits, which we've all seen, like look at his Twitter behavior a few years ago, where like he basically turned himself heel because of how obnoxious he was being on social media. But he's a great example of that. Kevin Owens is another great example. Kevin Owens can be a cuddly teddy bear when he's a baby face, but he's still got that intensity. And he can be an absolute scumbag as a heel, but he's still KO. He's just great. Randy's another one. AJ's one of them who I feel like who flip-flops, who plays a character when he's a babyface. He's our shucks. And when he's a heel, he's just a douchebag overnight. That I don't like that. Although I love AJ in the ring. I know it's a bit off topic, but what do you all think of Max Hulu and Disney Plus working together? I'm excited. Yeah, I don't know if they're doing it in the UK. I presume they are because I've seen it on my social media page. But I actually think it's awesome, Michael. I think if you can pay one price and get all three, like let's be honest, Disney own Hulu, so that makes sense. But with them in partnership with HBO, yeah, wicked. The fact that they've called it Max is bloody ridiculous. Who the hell is Max? Apart from the German Shepherd I was playing with today. Triple H is like, well, you can be a character, but you also have to wrestle. Yeah, good. And I think NXT did him the world of good. NXT kind of, he was able to like be him, be a good version of him, but still kick ass. Oh, 5 moves of doom has arrived. Oh, who do we mean? I've just got an advert about beavers. And now another ad with incredibly low-res flowers. Jade. Oh, yeah. I think we can skip the 5 moves and just go with Doom. That's mean, isn't it? Like, I think she's a star. She looks like a star. I saw it Louis Walsh. You look like a pop star. You act like a pop star. She's just not doing it in the ring, is she? Like Ant said before, she was never like amazing in AEW, but she had that star power, that presence. So, Josh needs NXT. Star power be damned. NXT. And putting her in the ring with Piper Niven. Look, I know Piper Niven's a pro, has been doing this a long time, but I feel like she should be in the ring with people like Natty, you know? People who can do this in their sleep, who, you know, are really people who being in the ring with them makes you better. You know, like, bless her, Natty's not about star power. She was, you know, not that she hasn't been a star before, because she has been, but we're never going to see Natty be, you know, at that level. But she can still go in the ring better than most. And that is what Cargill needs, I think. I love the idea of her feuding with Natty. Like, and maybe let's bleed into reality somewhat. Like, maybe like Natty could feud with, be the heel and be like, look, you've just been brought here from the competition. And, you know, you, like, yeah, you're big and you're tough, but you are 5 moves of doom, where I am, you know, a member of the Heart Foundation. I am legit, and I'm going to show you what being legit is. I think that's what they should do with Jade Cargill. Give her a feud like that, or whoever else. Like, I'm trying to think of some. This chair, sorry, is bloody annoying. But I'm trying to think of who else they could put her in with. But there's a ton of people. Not having Blair Davenport was a terrible decision. Yeah, I still can't accept that name. It's such a crap name. But I hate these modern NXT names that they have. They're just like, I was taking the piss out of Kale Dixon before, like the other day. I was like, they've called him Kale. Just get your head around that, guys. They've named a wrestler after cabbage. There needs to be an intervention over there. There needs to be an intervention down in flipping Florida. But anyway, the one that I still lose sleep over is Wesley. Wesley is the guy whose money you take in the lunch queue. You know? We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I agree with Miss Fish. She's incredibly talented. And Michin is fighting for the North American title on NXT. Why is she in this tournament? She could do both, mate. She's Michin. Too sweet and all that. Sir, are you Team Sugar Water, Logan Paul, or Team McNuggets, Cody Rhodes? See, the man with 3 H's, I now want some McNuggets and Sugar Water. I'm absolutely Team Cody Rhodes, but I must say, I think Logan Paul, what about Logan Paul? Logan Paul is bloody brilliant. I just do. I think he's ace. I know a lot of people hate him. That's what makes him good. He's a great heel. Yeah, observing stuff now, I just really want some McNuggets. Oh, 20 McNuggets, barbecue sauce. Let's go. This is the problem of going to the gym. Like, you have a big meal, you wait a bit, you go to the gym, and like an hour later, an hour or two later, you're dying of starvation again. If I ever do a swim, if I ever do like 40 lengths in the pool, like half an hour after eating or whatever, I'm always ravenous again. It's so annoying. I know what I'm eating tomorrow. Yep, the barbecue sauce. Yes, McDonald's barbecue sauce. Mwah! So good. I might have to do that tomorrow. Can you see another celebrity YouTuber involvement with the guy at Prime Bottle at Coda? Like, I've got to confess, actually, the man with 3 H's. Thank you for joining us, by the way. I've got to confess, I've had the energy drinks, a bunch of Prime energy drinks. I don't think they're anything special, to be fair. But when I went to the gym the other day, I wanted to try the cherry ice, the hydration drink, because I didn't know until Dan told me the other day that the hydration drinks and the energy drinks are two different things. So I went to the gym and I brought one of them hydration drinks just to try it. And it was quite good. It was quite nice. It was incredibly sugary, so I'm not going to have many of them. Body's a temple, apart from beer. But yeah, it was all right. But yeah, I'm 100% Team Cody. You know, with all this Nightbird stuff, when it comes to Howdy, why do I get the feeling that we'll call the group something like the Flock? I think, though, like, is it not too reminiscent of Raven? I think Don was talking about this. Don was talking about that. He's getting proper Raven vibes from all this stuff. And I think I am too. I think it's a good point. I do think it's a little bit too derivative, though, if they actually go with the Flock. What about the murder? Not about killing someone. I mean, like you call a murder of a flock of crows. It's called a murder of crows. So that could work. I don't think buzzards are solo creatures, aren't they? I suppose they don't really move in flocks. I think the murder wouldn't be very family friendly, though, would it? They probably couldn't do that, just in case people didn't understand what it meant. Yes, Hassan, you can. I shall do it now. Mello won that last one by 71%. Okay. Here we go. This is going to be... Part of me wants to actually watch this match because I think it'll be funny. No disrespect to either competitor, but I think this is incredibly bad booking. Although maybe not, if they keep doing this stuff. Nope. Do it right. Oh my god. I'm half asleep. So who wins? Boom. We have a poll, ladies and gentlemen. Shall I do a banner? Because I'm behind on my housekeeping, aren't I? Okay. That gross cup of tea is maybe burp. Right. Piper. There we go. There you go, Hassan. Fill your boots, mate. I bought the tropical punch just to try it and thought it was all right, but I wouldn't buy it again. Yeah, that's kind of where I am with it. I had the ice pop one, and I thought I'd like it more than I did. Dan absolutely hates it. Well, I know what you mean. Exactly. You know, like, although weren't they saying the PG era is dead? They're going to be a little bit more risque going forward. Like, a little bit like, I mean, like, not risque, but more AEW risque. But, like, in the context of what it means, a murder of crows, they can get away with it. For example, I've worked in radio before, and you're not allowed to say the word cock and refer to a phallus, a male appendage. However, if you're saying it in relation to a bird, you're totally fine saying that word. No problem. The context made it all right. Like, and I couldn't get my head around that. So you can say that word as much as you want on live radio anytime during the day if the context is about an avian. As long as you're ornithologically intentioned, you can use the word cock on the radio. Soon as you mean a dick, you're I can't believe I'm talking about this. As soon as you mean that, you can't say it. So, like, broadcasting rules are ridiculous, but they could use it that way, you know. Yeah, unless you can effing blind all you want. If you're Rocky. Wait, Naomi did Hurricane Rana on Nia Jax. Excuse me, I must have missed that one. I completely agree with you on the NXT names. I also have an issue with the second generation talent not being able to use their family names. Lexis King, Ariana Grace, but others can. Charlotte Flair. Yeah, I think Lexis King is deliberate. I think, isn't it? Because with Lexis King, he acknowledged who he is, didn't he, as Brian Pillman's son, but was like, Lexis King is me. I'm not being defined by who. Like, so they did acknowledge it with Lexis King. So I don't so much mind that one. But yeah, I totally know what you mean. I hope Jade doesn't win Queen of the Ring. Oh, Michael, I'd not get your hopes up, mate. Don't worry. I think she will in the finals. It's Io versus Tiffany. I'd pay good money to watch that. Set the spot in DMs. I'll watch it later. Yeah, I must have not been paying attention. Are Piper and Chelsea like besties now? Because it wasn't this originally Piper kind of bullying Chelsea into it. This partnership. I heard some idiots whinging on social media that it's King and Queen of the Ring. It's like, no, it's all woke. It's like, what's wrong with you people? Like, what? Why wouldn't you want it to be both? People are still whinge about anything, won't they? Jade won. Who saw that coming? Yeah, it was. Yeah, I'm not going to lie, Michael. It exceeded my expectations, but my expectations weren't particularly high. I think it's ridiculous she's already got a title. Just going to, because they didn't want Backlash to be a pay-per-view with no titles changing hands. Because the French would have been like, to the guillotine with them. Why do these people act like they've never had a women's tournament before? Yes, exactly. Yeah, they're just... Well, we all know they're stupid, don't we? We can, you know. I think that word, I'm not going to say it again, but I think that word, because as soon as you ask them what does that word mean, they all tell you something different. And I think it just means stuff they don't like. Do you know what I mean? Anything they don't like. Because I've heard people describing books as that, or being happily married as that. So it's like what isn't that? Apart from being a dick. Oh, hello. Oh, here she comes, a tag team partner. Are you a bigger fan of WWE or AEW? Well, I'm a big fan of both, which blows a lot of people's minds. A lot of us are on this podcast. Like Ant is our resident AEW guy. I think Andy is our big WWE guy. Dom to a point. Dan and I, we like both. Like I'm a big TNA guy as well, big Ring of Honor guy. I like New Japan. You know, I don't do wrestling tribalism. I think it's the stupidest thing on the planet. Like you're allowed to watch both. Like, what do these people think is going to happen? I've said it a million times. Like, people who only watch one and furiously argue with others on social media, are they scared someone's going to knock on their door and say, "Excuse me, mate, you're only allowed to watch one wrestling show"? It's like I like McNuggets, but I also like KFC. We have two cars. Like we drive two different makes of cars for different things. You know, in our house, I have a PlayStation and an Xbox and a Nintendo because I don't want to pick between them. So, the short answer to your question, the man with 3H's, is I like them both. I don't know if I like them both equally. At the moment, I am more feeling WWE, but that's only because they're coming off a really good Mania, some good storylines, and I feel AEW has been struggling recently. But I think it's since the last pay-per-view, AEW's kind of found its feet again, and I'm kind of excited about it again. So, but no, I like both. I'm a massive fan of both. Huge supporter of both, and TNA as well. And the man with 3H's as well. You might not know this, but other than Gimme A Hull Yeah, we also have, well, technically it's not connected to Gimme A Hull Yeah, it's a different endeavor completely. But Dom and I run WrestleSphere. So if you want to see me and some of the other podcast hosts here interviewing wrestlers from AEW, TNA, and WWE, Google WrestleSphere and go and have a look, or go on YouTube and have a look at some of our content there. But yeah, that's what we do. Big part of our lives. I'm shocked Jay did more than 5 moves. Be nice. No, you're right. Me too. In fact, guys, I'm even going to put the link in the chat. I think the last person I interviewed was Dana Brooke. Although, of course, she was going by Ash by Elegance when we did our interview. It still is. Oh, Michael says, I'm going to get going. Good night, all. All right, mate. Yeah. Dan, we'll see you on Monday. I'll be tucked up in bed myself when that happens. I'm going to stop faffing with my hat. There we go. So I'm trying to get it level. Time for a Bianca wins. Lol. Yeah. Ad break first. Who's she wrestling, guys? So I can do a poll. I'm going to beat his hand to it. Clash at the Castle, Scotland. Lower the prices. Candice. Oh, I wonder who's winning that one. Of course, like watching Ring of Honor. I wonder who's winning this one. Jay Cargill won that one by 100%. Okay. Just going to do a poll, guys. 1 second. I do like Shinsuke's creepy... creepy promos. Man with 3 H's, message redacted. That's strange. I didn't mind you asking, by the way, mate. It's a good question. It's just me. I've got major beef with tribalism. Major beef. Okay, start poll. Who wins? Boom. And let's do the banner. We're getting lots of wrestling, though, because we're doing a tournament, so that's pretty cool. Bianca, Candice. I bet this is a squash. Candice will try and win, won't she? Try and win by cheating, because that's the story, isn't it? And in case you haven't noticed, guys, I am wearing the NXT Stand and Deliver t-shirt from LA. It's one of my favorites. Yep, that's me showing the WrestleSphere logo, well, website. We all know damn well Candice ain't winning. Oh, but Indy Hartwell's cheating. Could you imagine, though, if they swerve us now? Unless Candice cheats this up. Yeah, they could do that. I kind of hope they do, actually. Because I think... But I don't know. Are they going to give Bianca a loss? Just want to say Zoe Stark got the jobber entrance on Raw and still won. That's a good point. A very good point. But yeah, man with 3 H's. So I think to answer that question, I think it was a... yeah, I think at the moment WWE, but there has been a time where I was more leaning towards AEW. I think because they had a lot of momentum at that point. But yeah, right now it's WWE. But next week it could be TNA. So, but yeah, I'm feeling WWE a lot at the moment. Bianca doesn't need the win. She can afford a loss. Bianca can afford 100 losses and no one to bloody notice. Do you know what I mean? It's like she's so almost bulletproof by how strong they've tried to make her look over the years. I want her to turn heel. I'm sick of it. Just turn heel, for God's sake. Get jealous of Cargill and attack her, because everyone thinks Cargill's going to do it to her, don't they? Or it's the other way around. I think it's been a bit of a quiet stream tonight, guys. Doesn't matter. We can't have everyone being a big one, can we? See, I don't so much mind it. I think it's more of the character that I'm a bit bored by. Indy Hartwell. So she's drinking the Kool-Aid now, the Candice LeRae Kool-Aid. So that's Belair. Stratton's probably winning the next one. Jade Cargill versus Stratton, though. If they ended up doing that, that'd be interesting. If they went that way. Yeah. I feel like I'm always down on Bianca Belair. She's stupidly talented. So good. I'm just bored of her character. That's all. I want some edge. Although I do kind of like how she's getting aggressive with Bayley and not forgiving Bayley. That's pretty cool. Good storytelling. Oh. Randy annihilating Solo. And it didn't break. We got a lol. Lots of laughs. That was a great match. I loved it. Yeah, I kind of liked that. I kind of liked the. I knew the Jey Uso, Damian Priest match was a not a fill. Oh, here we go. Ain't nobody realer than Gorilla. Why is Heyman still with them? Do you know what I mean? They better have Tiffany murder that leg to win her match in the second round. That's got to be why they did it. If they do, though, it's nice when they're consistent. They're getting good at that at the moment. AEW have often been quite good at that, like selling a specific injury on a body part. They've been pretty good at doing that. Or just Bianca wins. Just don't even dare. Needs to turn heel. It's what she needs to do. Pretends the injury does happen. Doesn't happen. Yeah, maybe. Or she has the injury, right? Sells it and sells it and sells it and sells it and then wins anyway. That'll do my head in. Turn it off. I don't mind the idea of the injury being exploited by Tiffany and, and Tiffany winning. I don't know. I had a Tiffy epiphany earlier and I forgot what it was. Damn it. I was going to tell you all. Whatever. I might have already done it. Apparently, Roman has officially noticed what Solo's been doing. Well, you would have thought so. Like Roman Reigns owns a TV. Like in kayfabe, of course he's watching. Roman and Heyman and The Rock all did a great job of selling Roman's loss at Mania. It was good. Everyone was so focused on Cody, didn't see how good that was. Solo was a good heel. He could get more heat than Roman because it feels like he's running the bloodline wrong and he's chaotic with it. It's the treachery, isn't it? It's the no honor among thieves that almost makes him worse. But at the same time, is he justified? If this is survival of the fittest, Roman's lost, he's done. It's time for new blood. So I also kind of see it from Solo's point of view. Roman's going to get Solo at SummerSlam. Yeah, maybe. In my view, again, I've got. They might not do this. They probably won't. But I think SummerSlam should be. Everyone's going to hate me for saying this. I think SummerSlam should be Cody Roman one more time in a cage. That definitive victory I discussed earlier. Honestly, I do. I think the whole Solo Roman thing can keep going for a long time yet. Maybe even all the way till Mania, because we could do the whole build. Like if we're assuming they're going to do, if we're assuming they're going to do, what the hell's it called? During Survivor Series, I forgot what they called the match. War Games, with the Bloodline Civil War. I like the idea of them kind of waiting to do Roman versus Solo, if indeed that's where they go. But if The Rock is the one pulling Solo's strings, and he may not be, then they might have to do Solo a bit earlier. And and I'll explain what I mean observing stuff, because I don't know if you were here for when I did this, but my point is I'm of the view that we need a rubber match between Roman and Cody. Like, yes, we're all a bit sick of it, but I do think it would be a great way just to kind of definitively shut the door on that, because the first match, shenanigans caused Roman to win. Second match was shenanigans city, but Cody won it, arguably because of the shenanigans that, went in his favor that time. So I would love a match between them both in a Hell in a Cell. Who's the better man? No shenanigans, just, Cody versus, like Cody versus Seth, but with Roman. Let's just have no shenanigans and have Cody definitively beat Roman, and then Roman, head in his hands, it really is over. It really is over. And then who is Roman Reigns then? And that can then bleed into the Bloodline Civil War stuff when he realizes they don't follow me anymore. They're doing this. And then we can kind of start seeing the Solo Sikoa feud as he tries to take control and Solo kind of laughs him out of the building. You know, I kind of think they need Roman to hit rock bottom to then tell a good storyline with Solo and the Bloodline. And I also think Cody needs that definitive victory, because the one at Mania was great. I loved every second of it. But I do think Seth Rollins is the reason Cody won, because Roman just could not help himself but swipe at Rollins with the chair, because he was furious what Rollins did with the Shield entrance. It's great storytelling, but I'm not so sure if Cody is quite undisputed champion in my head until that is resolved. I think they need a rubber match. This is wrestling. Yes, of course it matters who holds the belt, but in terms of who's the better man in this feud, I am not so sure that's been decided yet. So that's just me. They probably won't. Roman ain't said crap to Solo. Why are you lying, Solo? Now, War Games Civil War sounds good. Yeah, I think that's where they're going. Lots of people do. The question is, who's on whose side? Who's and people could have changed sides by then. And by that time, you could actually have the Usos reunified and with Roman against the new lot. Question is, who goes in with them? Is Tama Tonga? Because it's the first time we've seen Tama's proper entrance in WWE. That might not be bad. Roman's going to be a face when he comes back either way, because people are already going to miss him if they don't already. See, I'm not sure. I don't think he can just come back and get cheered. I think he needs to come back. I think there's a lot of work that needs to be done with Roman. He can't just come back and be, shucks, I'm happy to be here. There needs to be a story. So apparently the QR code was messing with WWE signature into the Sister Abigail. How creepy. How weird. Why would Jay join Roman? Maybe because the new Bloodline keeps attacking him? Well, and this is a slow burn. I'm not suggesting they all get back together tomorrow. I'm suggesting that you have a situation where, let's say, for argument's sake, Jay or Jimmy keep getting attacked and beaten down by, say, maybe the Bloodline or maybe even Judgment Day or something like that. And the other twin comes out and defends the one getting beaten up. It could be Jimmy, who's, slowly turning face after his beat down by Solo and the Gorillas. So he comes out to help Jay. They don't reunify. They still don't like each other. They're still angry at each other. But Jimmy isn't going to let his twin get beaten up by these scumbags by Judgment Day, or vice versa. Maybe Jimmy keeps getting battered by the new Bloodline. Same reason. Jay isn't going to let them do that. Doesn't mean he wants to reunify with Jimmy yet, but he's also not going to let his twin brother keep getting battered by these pricks. So, you know what I mean? Like, it's get off my brother, even though I'm still not talking to him. That's believable. If you and your brother were arguing and had fallen out, and you saw someone beating your brother up, I tell you now, you're jumping in to help him. Of course you are. And you can have a situation there where they do find their way back to each other eventually. You can have that situation. And they could do something similar with Roman Reigns. If Solo and the Gorillas of Destiny are a monster they created, it might be their job to take them down. And eventually, if you have those three guys unified, that'd be a great way to turn all three of them. Well, obviously Jay already is, but you could turn the other two face that way. they could be this deadly alliance. The OG Bloodline only have one goal now, and that's to put down the spawn, this new Bloodline they have inadvertently created through Solo. So that's good storytelling. They could do that, if I do say so myself. But yeah, that's where I am with it. The question is, where do they put The Rock into this? You know, do they at all? Because if they are doing The Rock versus Cody at Mania, then he might not fit into the Bloodline story at all. Or is that the plan? And do they do The Rock versus Roman Reigns at Mania? You know, there's a ton of routes they can take. But I do think the Bloodline Civil War is happening. I can see the Bloodline keeps beating up Jay, trying to get him to join. Then Jimmy makes the save, but the number, yeah, that's what I mean. You could have a situation, you could have a situation like that where one Uso comes out to help the other Uso. They get beaten down by the new Bloodline. Bang, Roman's music hits, and there's a moment where the new Bloodline stop. They let Roman come into the ring. Solo says to Roman, "Acknowledge me." You think Roman's going to acknowledge him, and he hits him with a chair, or he just smacks him or something. And then all of a sudden, Roman and one of the Usos chases off the villains, and the three of them are left in the ring. And we always have a moment where they're like, when they reunified the Shield, we always have a moment like that. This is just me, long-term fantasy booking. Over the span of months, so not as fast as I made it seem. Yeah, exactly. No one's suggesting they do this by Clash at the Castle. This is I'm talking beyond SummerSlam, between SummerSlam and Mania is what I'm thinking here for this stuff. They've got to take it slow, progress it every week like they're doing. Progress it with something, but take it slow. Is Solo even related to them? If not, they aren't his bloodline. Yeah, Solo Sikoa is the younger brother of the Usos. Yeah, they are absolutely related. They're all Rikishi's sons. Now, the Guerrillas of Destiny aren't. They're part of the Tongan dynasty, but I think Haku was a tag team partner with, I've forgotten his name. So they're connected through almost like a wrestling brotherhood rather than a family brotherhood. So you know what I mean. The Rock's too big for the bloodline right now. Yeah, but he could be the guy pulling Roman strings. Not Roman, Solo strings. He could be the guy. The twist could be The Rock is the mastermind behind Solo's insurrection, basically. Here's AJ. I didn't even do a banner or a poll for that last match. So this is AJ versus Randy. This is a WrestleMania rematch from a few WrestleManias ago. So let's have a poll, and then I'll go back to the comments. Ooh. Boom. Okay, so who wins? AJ Styles. Randy Orton. Again, I could watch these two wrestle any day of the week. Bianca won the last poll, though. I didn't do one for the Bloodline stuff. Let's be honest, though. It was a glorified Bloodline squash, wasn't it? So, banner. So back to the comments. Yeah, Roman's music hits. Solo is scared at first, but he straightens up and demands to be acknowledged. I'd love that. The idea that Solo says to Roman, "Acknowledge me." And then it looks like Roman's going to do it. Like Roman doesn't have to be a cozy, shucks babyface. He can still be him. I don't think they should change his personality that much. Just having more, the right thing to do is to put them down rather than the delusional bully he's been for 3 years. No, he's related to the Usos. I'm talking about the Gorillas. Yeah, I don't think they're blood related. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. It's my understanding that they can be in the bloodline because basically the connection between Haku, the Gorilla's dad, and I think I forgot who it was. He tags with someone's Misfit now. I'm fine with either person winning, but I think it'll be Randy winning. Yeah, maybe. Or does AJ need rehabbing after his loss? It's a weird one. Is this the main event, guys? Oh yeah, there'll be another ad break, won't there? So yeah, that's where I am with this bloodline stuff. I am glad Cody won at Mania because I don't think I could have handled another year of Cody Rhodes' chase. Eventually, you've got to pay things off, and it's nice. It's nice that they eventually did, and they created that awesome moment at Mania. Yeah, I'm into it. But what's great now is now that they've done that, they can move the story on. What does What does Roman look like without the belt now? Where does he go from here? And the Bloodline Civil War has got so much potential. There's a story, but they have to get the chess pieces in place, don't they? They can't just spam it overnight. It needs to be a slow burn. How do they suck in Jey Uso, then Jimmy Uso, then Roman, and whoever else might get involved? It looks like Jacob for 2 is going to be on Solo's side as well, because obviously there's been some trepidation about debuting him because they're worried that Solo might be overshot by for 2. So it looks like they're going to be a foursome rather than a trio, which in a way creates a situation where would Roman and the Usos need a 4th member? Sami Zayn? Maybe? The honorary Us? Riding back into battle with those 3? They could do it. Actually, now the more I think about it, oh my God, do it. Who else is there? Who else could they put in that 4th spot? Unless there's another Samoan. No, saying that, there is Zilla Fatu, isn't there? Isn't he waiting to sign with the company? Has already signed with the company? Like, we all know where he's going, don't we? So yeah, that gives us a nice even number. Although I do kind of like the idea of Sami Zayn stepping up, because I know he's not in the Bloodline or Samoan, but he was in the stable, wasn't he? And he worked his way up to be just Us and not honorary Us. I still think it was a bit of a wasted opportunity for them when Sammy was still a heel for all of them to hold all the gold. I know they couldn't have done it because obviously Gunther was in the middle of his IC reign. I've forgotten who had the United States Championship, but part of me loved the idea of the Usos having the tag belts, Sammy having the IC, and Solo having the United States, and them having all the gold. That would have been great, even if they'd just done it for a while. Randy's got burning eyes. That's pretty awesome. Okay. Oh, yeah, if you don't know this, guys, the Northern Lights, the Aurora Borealis was visible across the UK earlier tonight. It was mad. Like, if you're in, like, the most northernest part of Scotland, like the Outer Hebrides and, Stornoway, places like that, you can see them, I believe. But I'm just in the north of England. And I was able to see them tonight. Just incredible. You have a look on my Twitter for some of the pictures. It's pretty mind-blowing. I don't know if the pictures fully do it justice, but it was crazy just to walk out your back door, look up and see that. It was just mental. I was staring at them for about 10 minutes. I took a million pictures. So yeah, there you go. Not wrestling related, but that's what I was doing before the stream. Not the reason I was late. Or it might have been part of it. Yes, it is the main event. And let's be honest, Randy Orton's entrance is taking 20 years. So, and if we have 2 ad breaks, yeah, that takes us through. How's this episode been, folks? I like that there's been quite a lot of wrestling. It very much feels like a Triple H episode, doesn't it? Some of the matches have been better than they had any right to be as well. Like Cargill and Piper Niven was better than it had any right to be. And I mean, these two, that's a WrestleMania match. What was his finisher in New Japan? I do forget. It's been a while. I don't think I've watched a New Japan Tama Tonga match since he was going after Bullet Club after they booted him out. Oh, yeah. Yeah, good point. Yeah, he won't be doing that. Unless they give it a different name and a different look. Like, let's be honest, the RKO's a cutter, isn't it? Just from a standing start. Where Cody's is obviously... Well, Cody does too, doesn't he? He does the Cody cutter, then he does the Crossroads. Yeah, I know what you mean, though. Nah, they gave Tama R-Truth finisher. Yeah, see, I think you might be right. It'd be interesting to see what they do. Because it doesn't like... It's not like the move is associated with him in a massive way, is it? You know what I mean? Like, you think of AJ, you think of moves like the phenomenal forearm and and things like that. Think of Randy. Randy is synonymous with the RKO. It's his initials, for God's sake. Tama, you don't think of Tama Tonga and instantly think cutter, do you? You think Bullet Club. So, yeah. The average casual WWE viewer is not going to know or care. I mean, I didn't know or care. And I'm far from a casual. Oh, this is we got aggressive Randy. Oh, cool. Did she have any purpose with it, or was it just the image we saw at that kickoff show to Mania? That was awesome. That. Well, they finally fixed the BS. The Cody crybabies inherited the earth. Lol. That's great. Love it. Oh, of course. Of course. Because she's married into the family, isn't she? Where Nia's an actual part of it. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. She was up against, they've probably sat around the Christmas dinner table together, haven't they? Left for a second. Now I'm back. Nice one. It's been quiet tonight, guys. It's okay. But it's been quieter than usual. Some of the usual crew haven't been in tonight. Todd, haven't seen Todd for a while. Don't see Jack anymore on the SmackDown streams. I think he's working on a Saturday, isn't he? Sassy's obviously doing her charity work, of course. Haven't seen Norma tonight, have we? Must be busy. Must have a hot date. I do appreciate it observing. Same with Misfit as well. Misfit, Michael, Normar as well. Often, you know, if this when I've got someone to chat to, it's all worthwhile. Because when you don't, which doesn't happen often, but when you don't, you well, it becomes a bit pointless, doesn't it? Really. Because I wouldn't want this community to be like massive. It'd be great for our YouTube channel, but it would drown out the regulars. Does that make sense? It would drown you guys out, and that would be a travesty, really. We'd have to just make you all mods or something, or give you like free memberships to make sure you were prioritized. We just have to do something like that. It's a good point though. That like, what do you do when a channel becomes really, really big? What do you do like with your really important regulars? How do you keep them as a massive part of it? Do you know what I mean? I've never thought of that. I might ask some of my friends who are part of larger channels and see what they think. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's weird, isn't it? Because SmackDown is often very sports entertainment, and I feel like this episode hasn't been. And I don't know if that's hurt it, dare I say. Although Randy Orton, AJ Styles in the main event of an episode of SmackDown is crazy, if you think about it. Yeah, you guys do a great job and chat interaction. I'm going to miss it when you guys blow up and there's 2.5 people in this chat, lol. I don't think that's happening anytime soon. Like, there's a ton of things we could do that would like help it get a lot bigger. But I don't think any of us quite have the time to turn our attention to it that way. You know what I mean? Like we certainly have ideas on how to maintain it, how to grow, how to do well. But we're not about to make this our full-time job anytime soon. And I don't know. I don't think I'd want to either, because everything I do with Deserto and WrestleSphere is so important, and it's all stuff I've worked for years to get it to where I want it to be. So I wouldn't want to compromise even slightly on either of those two things. Like, a lot of the freedoms and things I have in my life are because of because of those two things. You know, some of the privileges. It's 2:45. My internet's having a moment. I like smaller rooms like this too. Everyone's message can be read. But yeah, that's the thing. Like, we had a guy, Anthony had a guy who came into his a few weeks ago and just started being rude to him for like no reason at all. Because, I bet you don't read my comment. And Ant was like, well, of course I'm going to. For starters, like, no one ever reads my comments. And Ant was like, well, it's maybe because you come into rooms and start being a dick like this. That might be why. Maybe you're the problem, mate, not the YouTubers. And it popped me, but it was true. I was like, who is this guy? Like, if you play nice, you'll get everything read out. Definitely make us mods if that happens. There'll be a lot of toxic trolls coming with the numbers as the channel grow. Yeah, maybe. That's just an idea. I'm thinking, what do we do about the regs? You know, the regular guys, the guys who kept the lights on for us. Should that happen? But like, look, there's no guarantee that's going to happen tomorrow. So, but we kind of go like, the channel is growing 100%. Like, you know, in the past like year, I think we have grown by a good 1,000 people like on YouTube and stuff like that. So it is happening, but it's I think you get to a point, don't you? Then you reach that critical mass, and then it's a case of how do you get bigger from there. If we were to pile a load of money into it, I think that we could probably do that, but it's also time and making content. You know, and we all have very busy careers, so it's hard to, you know, Anthony and Dan as well. You know, don't work in journalism, but they also work in like media and business. So and showbiz and stuff like that with Ant as well. So they have busy lives. Dom and I, with some of the stuff we do, can barely breathe sometimes, and I don't know how Dom does it. Like Dom has so many like fingers in so many different pies that he's can't eat, like there's plates that he's spinning. I sometimes think there must be two of him. I think he has a twin brother. That's why his hair always changes. There's two of them. That's my theory. I don't care how much they try to promote it. I'm not trying prime. Do you know what I'm observing? It's not like me and Misfit were talking about this before. I had one the other day in the gym, and it were all right. I had the cherry freeze. I wasn't a fan of the ice pop one, but there's two types of prime. There's the caffeinated energy drinks that are just so overpriced, and like they're more expensive, but less content than a bottle of kind of Monster. So it's like, what's the point? But I did kind of like the juice, like the hydration drink, the other day. That was all right. I didn't mind that. I might try a different flavour just to see what that's like. Yeah, some trolls really want attention. So they must not get it in real life. Yeah, like if we always give people a shout, a chance. If someone comes in, we're always like nice to them first. But if they keep being a dick, 5-minute ban. If they keep being a dick after that, bang, ban. And this match is great. Yeah, it's been all right, hasn't it? It's a shame about ad breaks, isn't it? That's the problem with TV matches. I can never truly get into TV matches because there's always 50 ad breaks. Johnny Autism says, Jack Doherty. Who's Jack Doherty, Johnny? Well, thanks for joining us again. I think we often see you on Anthony's streams, don't we? Who's Jack Doherty? What if Jack Doherty came out to help Logan Paul at Saudi Arabia? I'm not going to lie, Johnny. I don't know who Jack Doherty is. You might need to tell me. Obviously, I know who Logan Paul is. Because the person who usually comes out to help Logan Paul is usually a big bottle of Prime. And I still can't believe we saw IShow's Speed on WWE. Like, God, that guy's a dick. I looked up the name. Jack is another YouTuber that I automatically don't like for some reason. I'm kind of with you. Like, I like Logan Paul as a wrestler. I like Logan Paul in WWE, but other than the fact that he's done a YouTube channel and he has his podcast, I don't know much else about him. I know he's had a few controversies and stuff like that, but as far as I'm concerned, Logan Paul is a wrestler first and foremost. So, and as a wrestler, I think he's great. So I treat him the same as any other WWE superstar, really. Like what he does outside of that, I don't really care about or follow. But I've never heard of Jack Doherty, but I'm not going to lie, I'm 36. Like, iShow Speed is such a weird. I like Kai Cenat, but I'm getting too old for these YouTuber folks. All of the ones in my day fizzled out. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know anything about Kai Cenat, really. I just don't know anything about him. But iShow Speed, I only know about him because I remember reading a news story because I saw it go viral about some YouTuber going on a sexist rant. And then I clicked on the video and it's just this tiny little guy, this tiny little guy just screaming and getting angry and having a temper tantrum and being rude to some woman and telling her to go and wash dishes. And I remember thinking, oh my God, what a little prick. And apparently that was iShow Speed. So that was my first impression of iShow Speed. And first impressions are hard to overcome. And like Mr. Darcy in Pride and Prejudice, my good opinion, once lost is lost forever. Yeah, if the first thing I hear about you is you having a temper tantrum and shouting sexist slurs at somebody, then I'm probably not going to care about who you are. And then if you come into like my world, into WWE, and expect like and expect respect, it's like I think WWE should have known better than having him on their TV. Look, I'm not saying people can't come back from their mistakes, and the idea of cancelling someone for life because they made one bad choice is I don't agree with that at all. But someone like that, if he did it once, he's probably going to do it again. He's probably done it like, you know what I mean? I'm like, do we need that guy? What's he bringing? What value? Like, nah, F off. I'm not interested. So yeah, so that's all I know about IShowSpeed. He's incredibly short and incredibly angry, and well, you know, I will never watch a YouTube video of him or something. But that's all I know about him. I'm sure he really cares what I think. I don't know. I've just not got time for that level of toxicity when someone behaves like that. And how dumb do you have to be to do that on stream? You know, like although I don't hold any views like that, or so but you've just got to be on your best behavior, really. You will sometimes slip up and you might swear, or like I feel like I felt a bit frustrated with myself a few weeks ago after the CM Punk stream. No, the stream where we started discussing CM Punk. But the more I think about it, I stand by every word I said. So, like, I feel like there's been pressure on me with that situation to kind of apologize, or for my morality, or to. I need to stop. I feel like people are like, I need to stop having that because it's shining a spotlight on other people's morality, and you know, and it's because there's a lot of other CM Punk fans who are really frustrated, who were frustrated at me for that. And no, sorry, I'm in the right. Sorry, you know, there's no matter of opinion there. It's a case of some things are just wrong, just categorically. And that's it. You know, it is black and white sometimes. Into you know, you don't attack people because they disagree with you. Sorry. Anyway, enough of that. I like Smosh. I've never heard of Smosh. Oh God, I remember Smosh. I get tired of people doing the same thing, being a jerk, get famous for it, later apologise. Everyone is supposed to kiss their ass for it. Yeah, like look, there is such a thing as a mistake, and there is such a thing as a sincere apology. You know, those things are real. Actually, Logan Paul, I think, is a good example of this, because I feel like Logan Paul had that controversy in that forest in Japan. And when he kind of apologized for that and sort of explained it, I did buy it. I kind of thought, you know what? Yeah, you're not a like, you can come back from stuff. Of course you can. You know, none of us are perfect, and I'm not a Christian by any stretch of the imagination. But that line about, you know, he's, you know, without sin cast the first stone is a really good one. You know, it's a good thing to, you know, none of us are perfect. But yeah. Well, that got deep, didn't it? With a couple of minutes to go. I am going to watch this match back tomorrow properly. You know what I mean? Because it's, I can't believe they're giving it away on TV. But it's, again, we've had it at WrestleMania, haven't we? So I don't think it matters. Just looking at this on Facebook. Oh. And it's over. Randy. Phenomenal forearm. Look at that. That was awesome. 1, 2. Nope. RKO'd the crap out of him. Yeah, it was good, that. Like, if you were in the audience for that, like, you've had, to be fair, you've had a good wrestling show, haven't you? Not a huge amount of storyline, but, you know, it wasn't a very sports entertainment-y show, but it was a good wrestling one. I think because it's King of the Ring, innit, they've got a lot of matches to get through in the bracket. Oh, they certainly are. Right, and that's it. That was SmackDown. And I haven't even yawned that much. What's going on? Do you know what, guys? What I suppose I'm going to get to bed. I think I'll give that show a 7 out of 10. I was kind of hoping for some more, I don't know, a bit more with the Bloodline. As a kid, I used to hate Orton. Just could hit his finisher out of nowhere. I've always loved him. It's weird though, because like the Ruthless Aggression era, I was a bit of an adult. You know, I was already like an adult, so kind of anyway. I was a young adult at least. Peace out. I also give it a 7. Yeah, I think 7's fair, isn't it? What, far from a 10 out of 10, but it wasn't a bad show by any stretch. Guys, thank you for joining me. I think we've got Dan on Monday, more than likely. So yeah, go support him. If you want to like the channel and subscribe on YouTube, that'd be awesome. Come and hang out with us. You know, it's the more people we can get in the chat, join the community. You know, everyone's welcome as long as you're nice, as long as you're polite. That's what's good about it being a bit of a small community. Anybody who joins gets to be equal, really. Gets to, you want your comments read out, you'll get it. So yeah, thanks for joining us. It's 3 a.m. I'm going to fall asleep. So let's see who's going to play us out. We had Shotzi earlier. Let's have. See, I don't think we should have an AW guy because, you know, let's have this one. This one's great.
God, I just listened to this whole podcast. It was terrible. I feel like my ears are gonna bleed.
What'd you say? This is Darby Allen, and you're listening to Gimme A Hull Yeah podcast.